Hello, everyone. This is Howard Fox, and welcome back for another episode of the Outdoor Adventure Series, the podcast that celebrates individuals and families, businesses, and organizations that seek out and promote the exploration, stewardship, conservation, access, and enjoyment of the outdoors. Maggie McDonogh is our guest today. She is the captain and owner of Angel Island Tiburon Ferry service in San Francisco Bay. Maggie, it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's a real treat.
Thank you. And I should say Captain Maggie. I like saying that better. So Captain Maggie. So first off, where is Tiburon Peninsula now? Because some of my guests listeners may not even know it. So where is it?
Okay, well, most people have heard of Sausalito. So you come across the Golden Gate Bridge, but you actually go past Sausalito, and we're in southern Marin, just a little hop skip to the east of Sausalito, and we're our own little peninsula right here in North Bay.
I love it. And I want you to know, it took me a while, but I finally found a good picture of the Tiburon area and Angel Island area. So, because I like to do that for my episodes. So I didn't want to give you Sausalito or just the San Francisco or the Golden Gate Bridge, which I could have done.
I appreciate that very much. I know.
So when I just did the intro, obviously I introduced you as captain and also owner of Angel Island Tiburon Ferry service. I understand this is a family business.
Right. I am the fourth generation captain and owner of the Angel Island Tiburon Ferry Company. And it's been an amazing journey running this company.
What is it like? I mean, were you like born on the boat
Yes.
I was just joking with somebody about his age when he was born in 1957. So were you like born in the back of a 57 Chevy? But you're on the boat, you're running this ferry service, generations of family. And so you must have been on that boat almost since the day you were born.
I haven't. I was. And the funny thing is you say that, but my dad was literally born in the ark that resides on our dock. So,
Okay.
I mean, water runs in our veins for sure.
What's it like to be in the maritime business and actually as a woman in the maritime business? I mean, that's got to be you're unique.
Well, it can be a little bit challenging, but it's boats, right? Like sometimes you just have to carry on, and I'm very fortunate because I own it. So I get to play to a certain extent by my own rules, right? And
Okay.
that's very nice.
Okay. So with this ferry service in running the service from these generations, what has been the evolution of this business and really this deep connection into the Tiburon Angel Island area?
Okay. You have a minute? Because it's a story.
I got time here.
Okay, you
I'm
got
not in any
time.
hurry. My coaching practice ended at 3:00 today, so we're good.
Okay. So my great-grandfather settled in Petaluma, which is just a little ways up the road from Tiburon, maybe a half an hour. And there's a little island there that was known as McDonough Island. And he used to hunt ducks and waterfowl for sale in the San Francisco poultry markets. And when it became known that the Northwestern Pacific Railroad was going to come down to Tiburon, he decided to come down and start a boarding and chowder house. I think it was probably known as a saloon, but they didn't call it that. So we're going to give it to him. And he ran little boats and that saloon. And then he had six children or seven children. And my grandfather, Sam McDonough II, was known as Sammy the Skiff Man. And he had these little dories that for 25 cents, when the big ferries would come in out of San Francisco, you could rent a boat, full rod, full bait, and be towed anywhere on the bay and go fishing. He also ran the launch between the North and South Tower of the Golden Gate Bridge, as well as other places he took boats in and out of in San Francisco Bay. And my dad was born in 1915. He was a 13-pound baby. Just revel in that for a minute. God bless Grandma. And yeah, and he grew up running these launches with Grandpa. And he did tugboats, fireboats, dredges in the Delta. And when the federal government started to decommission Angel Island, he applied to be the ferry boat operator over there.
Oh, wow.
since that time on, we've run boats. He initially started out with a small Navy launch that he and my Uncle Jerry refurbished, and it was named the Gayson after his nieces, Gail and Cindy.
Hmm.
But he became very aware that we were going to need a bigger boat. So we had the first Jet Cat designed, but we are Highland Scotch, so we're not going to spend money on a jet boat. And he had basically a barge built that carries 400 people,
Okay.
and it was brought in. And by the way, remind me, because there are only two things my parents fought about, and this is one of them, which is the boat was built in Stockton. He had it brought down to Rio Vista with a little pusher barge and an outboard engine. This is a 98-ton vessel, okay? My mom was steering. She wasn't happy. And then he dropped a 671 Detroit diesel on her favorite rosebush. But 43 years of marriage and only 2 arguments, I think we're doing okay.
Yeah.
And when the boat came in, it was Kelly green because paint was on sale.
Okay.
And town council had a fight about the color of the boat. They thought it was ugly, and the press said it was Milt's green cloud with a silver lining. And he ran that boat every single day till he retired at age 79.
Oh,
Every
wow.
day that it ran, he just was there. He was an institution. And I think growing up under a man who's your father, your best friend, and your business partner, you value your communities, you value the people. I'm personally learned that to be grateful for every single person that steps on that boat because they're coming to Tiburon. And then I get to share things that people don't see every day. Like, how often do you have a flock of pelicans that fly over your house where you're seeing them really close, or harbor porpoises? Or one year we had killer whales come up to Raccoon Straits. I thought it was bad Chinese food, but no, it really was killer whales. It's just an amazing thing to be out in nature and teach people about it and make people happy as a living. Did
Okay.
I answer your question? I hope I did.
And then some. And I love that. Now, I am curious now, who are the other family members that are helping to run the business?
Well, I was an only child.
Okay.
So my son was a captain in the company, and he got married, and he decided he wanted to go sell legal software. But my daughter is in the company, and she's deckhand. She promotes with me, and she's 5 foot tall and a commercial fisherman at
Wow.
23. So
She
yeah, and
kicks
then
butt.
really, it is. And then for my company, the people that I have this core group that have been with me, some of them 23, 24, 25 years. So it really is family. We vacation together. It's an amazing thing.
Okay. By the way, I did notice when I was preparing for today's episode, I was looking at obviously the Chamber's website, which I want to talk about for a sec in a bit, but I was visiting your website. I noticed there was you had space for 3 photos in the deckhand list, and I'm thinking I'm going to send my resume to you later.
Come
And
on. Come
okay,
on over.
I can be the official deckhand slash podcaster.
Oh, I would love that. We get to make people happy for a living and hear about their experiences on the island. I love that.
There you go. And I hope Brittany is listening to that, how we can extend.
Are you listening? She's listening. She's
All
listening.
right. All right. All right. So so I'm curious with the service, you've got the ferry, and you also listed cruises and charters. So
Yes.
let's start with the ferry. Uh, the Tiburon Ferry, Angel Island. What are the disembarking, embarking? Where do you start and where do you
Our,
go to and
our
come back?
schedule. Okay. Well, for the ferry boat to Angel Island,
Okay.
we operate in and out of Tiburon.
Okay.
And the schedule shifts a little bit with the season. So I do recommend you look at our website. But
Hmm.
it's only a 12-minute ride to Angel Island. And you're going over Raccoon Straits, which is the second deepest part of San Francisco Bay. And you see amazing things on the port as you go over, port or left, starboard or right.
By the
It
way.
just, you see Richmond and the East Bay on one side and the Golden Gate Bridge on the other side.
Hmm. Okay.
And then you're on Angel Island, which is our largest natural island on San Francisco Bay. And that's an incredible space that I personally feel is hugely underutilized. We have multiple beaches on the island and barbecue pits, but also that island, you're in the middle of this incredibly busy metropolitan area, and it's serene. And on a clear day, you can climb to the top of the island and get a 5-bridge view. And you
Okay.
can camp over there. I mean, it's just a beautiful, complex piece of history that is really underutilized. Like, folks don't really know about it.
Who is responsible for managing Angel Island?
California State Park System.
California State Park System. And this is an island that's dedicated fully to nature. It's not, are there folks that live on the island, or is it for the most part
There are.
nature opportunities?
It's mostly nature, but I mean, we have state park staff that lives over there. You can, of
Okay,
course, camp over
sure.
there. But the island itself, we have Ohlone and Miwok Indian sites. We
Okay,
have World War I, World War II sites. We have the immigration station known as Ellis Island of the West. We have
okay,
Civil War sites. We
okay,
had a fumigation disinfection plant in 1890. And back when it was first used by the British and such, it was known as Wood Island because they would cut the trees on the island and it has all these springs. But today it's mostly hiking, biking, camping, history education. And like I said, oftentimes I'll take people out to the island. Maybe there'll be 300 people on the island and you won't see another person till you come back in the cove to come back over to Tiburon.
okay. So I feel like I have to go visit. And
You
by the way,
do?
I'm always looking for my next place to live. I'm thinking maybe I could get a camper and just like stay there. As long as there's electricity and a good internet connection, I could do my work anywhere. But that's so you're running this service literally continuous back and forth and back and forth. Okay.
Yes. Yes,
Is
and it just depends on the time of the year. In the wintertime, it's a little bit less a service because
Mhm.
weather, if it rains, folks don't like to get wet, or
Okay.
they all want to go skiing because Tahoe's very busy up here. In the summer and this time of year right now, we're getting a lot of school groups that go over. A lot of
Okay.
folks on the week. Mother's Day is a big day this weekend. So,
Okay. All right. And how many of the ferries s- are you taking people back and forth, or is it one boat or a fleet of boats?
well, we have one main boat, which is the Angel Island, which is everybody calls her the toaster, but we don't mock. And then she goes back and forth, and what the neat thing about the Angel Island is she's got a green railing, right? And I've
Hmm.
walked into people's homes that I've known and people's homes that I just meet, and there'll be pictures of them with that railing behind them. So for
Okay.
me, it's kind of wonderful. We're a part of this continuous community-based memory. And I
Okay.
think that's fantastic. So we have the Angel Island. She's our main boat. She carries 400. Then we have the
400.
Bonita, which is the one I told you we brought up from Lake Mead,
Right.
which carries 98 people. And
Okay.
then, of course, our charter vessel, the Tam, if we need to use her for the island, we can. And she
Okay.
carries 120, but I wouldn't put more than 100 because we want to be able to sit down. So,
Right. Okay. And so, as far as the charters, besides Angel Island, where's your charter boats? Where are they going?
well, the big vessel of the Angel Island on Saturdays and Sundays, starting on Mother's Day weekend, we do
Hmm.
what's called a sunset cruise. And
Uh-huh.
my dad and I invented this. It's kind of great. It used to cost $8 and you got a free soda, but
Hmm.
now it's a bit more. But you get to bring your own picnic dinner. And we
Okay.
cruise around both sides of Belvedere, down through Richardson Bay, and usually out and sometimes underneath the Golden Gate Bridge. And you really, if you get me in the wheelhouse, I'll give you as much history as I can about the different buildings and sites or Richardson Bay itself. And that's neat because for a lot of folks, you work, right? And then you have to clean your house in order to have guests. And then by the time you get done having guests, you have to clean your house just back to where you were when you started before you started. But this way, you can pick up appetizers or a dinner somewhere or pack a picnic dinner. And I have seen everything on that boat from very, very simple things all the way up to champagne and caviar.
Oh, wow.
It's beautiful. That's one of my favorite cruises because I never know what I'm going to see when I'm out. It's different. I love
Okay.
it. And
Okay.
then we do once a month, we do a wildlife tour where we look for whales and cetaceans and seals and birds. And we also do a bay cruise that happens. And we have specialty cruises like the lighted boat parade in Sausalito, which
Hmm.
we have won. I don't know, 4 years, is it 4 years, 5 years running now, 4 or 5 years running. I'm like, whoop. And that's to Captain Aaron because he works very hard on our light display, or
Hmm.
the Cinco de Mayo or 4th of July. So I'm just very lucky to be able to offer all those things.
I definitely have to make some arrangements to come up and visit. And by the way, Brittany, who's listening off to the side for our listeners here, I would love to get some photos of the lighted cruise and some because we'll need those for our show notes and stuff. So Brittany's in charge of gathering photos for us.
She's smiling. Is that what it? So, and then in addition to those cruises, you can charter out the boats for private cruises. So we do everything: rehearsal dinners, birthday parties, weddings. You name it, we could do it on the boat. It just depends on where. Do you want to be in Tiburon? Do we need to come into San Francisco and pick you up? We do transports. We do all those things. And we usually use the Tamalpais for those because she fits into the docks better in San Francisco. But yeah, it's amazing. And we have brand new engines, Tier 3 on the Tam. So she's quiet and she's zippy and she's clean burning. So there.
Wow. Now is that your new best favorite boat to skipper? Captain?
No. Captain Aaron did the retrofit on it, and he called me from the sea trial and he goes, I'm giddy. I'm just giddy. He's very happy running the boat.
I love it. On a typical outing, how many crew are on the boat that you are working with to make sure everybody's safe and make sure the lines are thrown and retrieved and all that good stuff?
Well, it depends on the volume during the day. So it's usually a captain and 2 crew or a captain and 3 crew. And I'll have Brittany send over. We just did the most amazing drill. We were so lucky. We got to partner with the United States Coast Guard and do helicopter lifts on and off of the boat.
Oh, really?
And how much fun was it? I have to tell you, it was super fun.
Okay. What's the relationship with your service and say the Tiburon Peninsula Chamber or the Visitor Bureau? Because I love this idea of just going out on a boat. I mean, I'd want to go out for a little while. I mean, a 10-minute cruise to the island. I want to see the island, but what's the relationship between your business that's been around for generations and has grown and evolved, and now you've got this town of Tiburon and its evolution? How do you interact with each other to make sure everybody's happy and doing the things they're supposed to be doing to promote the community?
It's a symbiotic relationship, right? Like we're a cornerstone business, and I believe not everybody can succeed on every single issue, but it's your job to lift everybody up. To that end, our chamber was instrumental in helping Brittany and I do a multi-chamber event last year at the end of the season, just to cross promote each other, because that needed to happen going into the fall. And I believe if we all work together, we rise. And I'm very lucky. I sit on the board of directors of our chamber, and you have to navigate everybody's wants and needs, and it's got to be collaborative. And we're lucky that this chamber is very, very collaborative. And I'm very lucky with the town of Tiburon itself. We have a lot of support from the council and the city manager and the city engineers. And then we work forward with Mill Valley, with everybody. I mean, Sausalito, Mill Valley, Puerto Madera, and we belong to multiple chambers in order to try and cross-promote as many as we can, because I think that it falls on us. If we're going to be successful in this new economy and dynamic, you have to cross-promote and lift each other.
Right. As a cornerstone business, what do you see the challenges that you're going to face or your peers are going to face in the coming 5, 10, 15 years? And the reason I ask that question is there is the economy today. There is global warming and the effects of that. There is also people's needs and wants are always changing. So how do you, as a cornerstone business, your peers, the chambers, how do you navigate what you need to prepare for, say, in the next 5, 10 years? Big loaded question, by the way.
That is a complex question, my friend.
Okay.
Okay, how much time you got? From one end, as you may or may not know, we're going electric. All right. So that's the way we're trying to help with global warming, right? We don't burn a lot of diesel fuel, but I do believe we have a moral duty to each other to improve our footprint. So I know that everything we do here on the coastline affects everybody inshore from us. They don't have a say in what we do. So there's a moral obligation in my mindset to the greater duty to humanity to reduce our negative impacts on those people. to that end, we're also working on becoming Blue Dot Energy. You hear
Okay.
green energy, but Blue Dot for Tiburon. And then as far as attracting people, that just requires, in my mind, what I experienced today is that people need to feel seen and heard. So customer service, making sure they know you're existing, making sure they feel welcomed and
Mhm.
not sometimes, and I'm sure if you travel someplace and somebody hits you up with a bunch of additional fees, it sort of feels uncomfortable. I
Mhm.
don't believe in that. I believe, hey, you're here. This is what we're doing. Come aboard. Let me share this with you. I believe in being encompassing and helping people that may not be able to come. I'm very cognizant of the fact we're not subsidized, right? We're not like the
Right.
big guys. We're very tiny. And so when I have to adjust my fares, recognize the strain it puts on families or people trying to get out to the island. So I work with the Angel Island Conservancy and other nonprofits. How can we get funding in order to assist those
Mhm.
people to get to the island? Because I also don't believe that state parks should be for people who can afford to go there. I don't believe in monetizing our coastline or our park system because it's for the people, right?
Mhm.
They should be able to get out there and enjoy and breathe out in nature, or I like to call it nature bathing. So
Right.
that's did I answer your question? I kind of hope I did. It's a complex question too because I don't know how to project forward. Like what's going to happen with the economy? I don't know. There's a
Right.
lot of conjecture, right? So
So just, I think flexibility and just listening, be aware, being nimble and flexible when you need to be, and
absolutely.
digging your heels when you need to be.
Well, I am Irish, so I can be stubborn. Let me tell you, I wouldn't be in this business if I didn't like it. So, and I think we have a saying on the boat says, I'm a mariner. I've seen worse. It'll be okay. It's like
Right.
when we ran during COVID, we were one of the only ferry boats that was able to run.
Mhm.
And we had a mask. And I tell you, Howard, I was dressed in 2 layers of clothes, masks, hat, the whole thing, because that's what was required of us.
Mhm.
And I felt like it was a total privilege to be able to let people get outside and get some release. And it was a complex time, right? We had not
Yeah.
only COVID, right, wrong, no matter what your beliefs is, we had the Black Lives Matter movement. There was a tremendous number of social political aspects that we had to navigate just to make people happy to take them back and forth to the island. And I am so proud of my crew because they did it. I mean, they stood up when the call came and they did it.
I love that. When you have heard or read feedback, I mean, as a business, you have a Facebook page, an Instagram page. There's probably a Yelp page. Or what do people say about the Angel Island ferry service? What are they saying?
Well, it's normally pretty darn positive because if you call up, you're going to talk to Ashley or Aaron, myself, and then
Mhm.
we meet you on the dock to take you out to the island. Anybody that has a negative comment, it's usually one, not us, or it was some extenuating situation that got them to us. So it really had nothing to do, and they just needed to vent. And that's what I mean about people just needing to be heard.
Okay. Okay.
You'll have to
Um,
read them.
you have to read them. I love it. I would love if you would indulge us with a couple tours, not only of your website, but the Tiburon Peninsula Chamber website, because this was initially started out as a project for destination organizations and chambers. And then Brittany said, hey, I've got a great idea for you, a better idea. You get to meet Captain Maggie. So, Captain Maggie, this is one of our ways of kind of spreading the wealth around the other parts of the community. So I'm going to go out to first the Tiburon Peninsula, but I know
Okay.
we're going to navigate to your page anyways.
Well, the
Uh,
Tiburon Peninsula, we're lucky to have another family, the Servinos, that run fabulous restaurant here, a fabulous coffee shop. They're opening a candy shop. We've got longtime residents that are running Sam's Anchor Cafe. Ah, here we are.
Here we are. I love, and you're talking again, food, my favorite topic.
I am a foodie.
Yeah. Okay. So we go. Okay.
Let's see.
Look at that view.
Isn't that pretty? That's Friday nights on Main. We
Yeah.
have those several times a year, and that's a really fun thing because they shut down the main street and we had our restaurants and vendors come out and the community comes together. and it's a beautiful thing.
Oh, beautiful. There's wine. You got to have wine in your area because right up the road a little bit. And that's how
Oh,
I first saw Tiburon. Is I had friends that actually I was on a project in San Francisco. I didn't want to fly back to Chicago, and so I decided to stay for the weekend. I remember driving up to the wine country, and I have a friend that I went through. He's a coach like myself on my day job, but he lives up in Healdsburg. So I
okay.
just go coming over the bridge, and there you are, Sausalito, then Tiburon. So
When you come up next time, we have to go up and do an olive oil tasting event. That's kind of a fun thing to do.
there you go. I'll good olive oil. Okay,
So look at all
so
that
where
fun
where
stuff.
where should we go?
I don't know. Let's see. We can go up to. Would you like to know about the chamber? Would you like to know about the ferries?
Let's see. Let's do special events, and then we'll go to the chamber schedule.
Okay.
We'll leave the listeners to kind of visit the chamber website for chamber business, unless there's a directory of who
There may
uh,
be. There's a
the
board of
board of
directors, a
directors.
merchant map.
Oh, okay, there's our board,
Sure is.
and there. You are. Look at that in uniform.
I know. Different
Y-
time.
y- I forgot to ask Brittany. I said, make sure Maggie is wearing the uniform, but I like that.
This is my day uniform. That's a different uniform for
Okay.
night charters. But I
Okay,
think we have
gotcha. All right. So here's our board. Just want to give them a good shout out. So we
and
got
our
special
special
events,
events.
Tiburon Wine Festival,
That's
Holiday
a
Festival.
right. That Tiburon Wine Festival's huge.
Yeah.
They sell it out every year. In fact, it's so large that we've been trying to expand it out through the whole weekend. So it's going to be food and wine festival. So we
hmm
get to talk about chef at Bungalow, chef over at Servino's, chef at Sam's,
hmm
all of our Malibu, all of our restaurants. So it's pretty stellar.
Okay.
And we have a lot of
Now,
folks that come. Yes.
no, go ahead. I think you were going to say a lot of folks coming from
From
San
San
Francisco.
Francisco on the Golden Gate Ferry. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Tickets on sale now. I don't want to see what the price is, but
Neither, but
yeah,
I'm sure it's well worth it though.
I'm sure it's very well worth it. Now, the Tiburon Ferry schedule, is this you guys?
It could be. Let's see what they've got there. I bet you they
Uh,
have both of us. So the first boat is not me, but if you
Right.
go down to Angel Island Ferry down below there, that's me.
There we go.
I'm going to talk to them about putting up our little square boat. And here's our website,
Nice.
right? And that was a picture taken right off our dog. We didn't color enhance it. It was actually this incredible.
I like Maggie. I want a cup of coffee or an adult beverage in the evening off that dock.
You come on. I had a friend come up from North Carolina and I gave her the 250-mile one-day tour, which we
I
finished with the crab feed on the dock. So,
I am like so need a little break. So I may take you up on that. Look at
all
that
right.
ferry service, cruises, private charters.
So the
Okay.
ferry service, you can see our iconic boat, the Angel Island, or you can go to boats and look at that. But that's the one everybody knows is. Then you've got special events or cruises, and then our
Okay.
private charters.
Okay. Very good. Very
And we
good.
provide a parking map. We try to lay out. See, there's all the specialty events,
Okay. Very nice.
and there's your TripAdvisor.
Look at that. Oh, 4.5 stars. I love it.
Yep,
Number one or three boat tours. I love it. Now, where am I going to find the team? Where am I going to find them?
Okay, let's go up to the top. Let's go to take a look in there.
Okay.
Day cruise is
About.
about information. Let's see what comes up under about. Maybe we got
Ah,
something good. The crew.
Well, let's look at the fleet first.
Okay.
So there's the Angel Island. Look. Oh, nice drawing.
Mhm.
Look at that. Welcome aboard. Fun stuff. You got some nice photos. All right. So there's good photos there. I love it. Okay. And then this is why we do this. This is video. We're making videos here. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, it's good stuff.
Good stuff here. So we've got let's do one more. Where's the
Tamalpais.
Tamalpais? There we go.
This is the charter vessel. We brought this one down from Alaska, no less.
Oh, nice.
And so she's sturdy. We go out and watch whales on her and have all sorts of lovely events on it.
I think that is fantastic. Okay. And then let's look at the crew. I keep wanting to say in the back of my head, I'm thinking Gilligan's Island song. So I just,
Oh,
yeah, just saying it's there
it,
and I
you
can't turn it
know,
off.
There's a number of those jokes, though it is becoming, I hate to say it, generational.
Yeah.
I know I've
Yeah.
gotten older when I say something, and so there's the crew. So Captain Steve and Aaron's our port captain. Tim, there's my son Sam. He's still on the
Okay.
website, so he's still with us in spirit.
Gotcha.
And now Fabian and Leo have been with me, I'm going to say 25 years.
Well,
Michael's been with me a very long time as well. And there's my daughter, Becky. And then now you see Ashley.
all right.
And she runs us. Let's be clear.
She runs it. She
Yes,
runs a tight ship. All right.
she runs a tight ship.
Yeah.
And then
All
we've got
right.
some folks that need their pictures, but you know,
Okay. All right. Very cool. I love it. I love it. Well, fantastic. And this
wonderful.
is
I'm
cool.
very lucky to work for and with these people. I'm so lucky.
Yeah. And for
And we try
Brittany,
to,
we need a logo here as well. Okay. In addition to Tiburon Peninsula, Cinco de
abs-
Mayo. So what you guys do yesterday?
oh my
2
goodness,
days ago.
we took people out on the Tam under the bridge, and it was $5 drinks, and they got a wonderful sunset cruise last night.
I am planning a visit. Let me tell you.
We have the bay is full of whales right now. When we were doing our
Yeah.
Coast Guard training, we'd have to call up to the helicopter and go, "We need to turn. There's a whale." I mean, we've had
Mhm.
whales everywhere right now, so we're really lucky. And our sunset cruises start this weekend, and that's a beautiful thing.
That's wonderful. Well, this is fantastic. So, thank
Thank
you for gifting us with this tour of your website and also a little bit of the Chamber's website. This is great.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
And thank you for having me on. I mean, I hope everybody will come out and visit us. Tiburon's a beautiful place. Marin County's a beautiful place. You cannot get bored here.
Well, you know what's really interesting, and I've been the Outdoor Adventure Series started back in the end of 2020. I moved from Chicago to Las Vegas, and I wanted to get out and see the stars. I wanted to go car camping in the desert, and that's how I discovered this whole outdoor space and the people who are writing about it and running businesses. And one thing I've noticed, sometimes we don't get out of our own backyard.
We are creatures. I would totally agree with you 100%. We are creatures of pattern and habit.
Yeah,
And I think you have to push yourself every once in a while to go do something different, even if you're doing it alone.
yeah.
Go and enjoy yourself. We did a trip just recently where we explored the beaches from Santa Barbara coming up just because I haven't done that before. It was amazing. So, and the wildflower bloom out here right now is beyond epic.
I can imagine. I can imagine. As you kind of look back, and again, you've part of a multi-generational family business, and you've been on the water literally since day one. What's been your biggest aha moment as you have grown, you've embraced maritime lifestyle, but what do you as you look back and you think, wow, I get to do this. What would be your aha moment, Maggie?
You, Howard, do not ask light questions, do you? You like these big, deep, juicy ones.
Well, I'm a coach by training, so I'm used to helping people navigate challenges. So sometimes I just have a habit of going. It's like a gotta go deep. I can't help it.
I gotta, that's a complex. So there's many of them, like, right? So there's the concept that if you listen to that little voice that tells you you can't, you need to know that you can.
Mhm.
I'm a woman in a maritime business. I'm running a ferry boat company. If I listened to everybody who said that I couldn't, I wouldn't be here today. So
Mhm.
when your little voice says you can't, know that you can. Say your daily affirmations because you must have a good relationship with yourself because you came into this life alone and you are going out solo. So you better like yourself on the way. Everybody else is a bonus.
I like
That's an
that.
aha moment for sure. I think a couple of things happened is I was blessed to have my dad as my best friend and business partner, right?
Mhm.
And you can never recreate that. But aside from being brought up on the boats, I was able to raise my children on the boats. So they weren't raised by nannies. They were with me, little backpacks, little harnesses, playpen in the wheelhouse. That was an amazing thing. And sometimes I feel like you're going and you don't stop. You have these beautiful moments, right? Like today, I can tell you, looking out Brittany's window, I can see the light spattering through the oak tree leaves and such, and it's amazing. But I think it came home to me one night. I was running a sunset cruise, and this must be 10 years ago. And I did say yes. My children were fighting at the time. And I said, if you don't stop arguing over the PA, I will stop this ferry boat. People remembered that, by the way, came back and talked to me. It was pretty funny. But we just gone under the Golden Gate Bridge. And the Golden Gate Bridge is vibrant, but it had that warm sunset afternoon, that deliciousness. And looking in, you could see Alcatraz and the Bay Bridge, and all the windows on the East Bay were these beautiful gold flickering lights, right? And coming up behind the East Bay Hill was this enormous cantaloupe full moon.
Mm.
And this woman came in and said to me, she goes, I remember when you were starting this. And she goes, I remember when you were talking about being an attorney and you had to come to work because my dad needed my help. And so I came in and she goes, and you took this, and not only did you make it your craft, you made it your art form.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like, that was possibly one of the nicest things anybody ever said. And then I drove the boat back into the strait because I was showing off. I let the full moon come up over Angel Island. That was a big white moon, and nobody wanted to get off the boat. So I had to bribe them off with stickers. But I mean, those moments where it may be difficult, but you can do it no matter what it is. You just have to have a little faith and surround yourself with people. You know your weaknesses. Wedge that together, dovetail that. This person's better at this. I'm better at this. Build your team so you're surrounded with people who will hold up mirrors for you, and you can hold up and improve each other, because isn't that the whole thing, is we got to help each other, improve each other as we go through life? I mean, that's just what it's about. Support right there.
I love
Those
it.
are my moments.
And I love it. It's also very much what I would call an insight to go, which is you need a team. And you have to, and need a team. You also have to slow down. And there's a saying, you have to slow down to speed up, but sometimes embrace the moment, just enjoy it.
Yeah. Drive up, get up on that hill, watch that sunset or that sunrise. We were talking earlier, a fine cup of coffee and listening to the world come awake. That's magic every day. So when I go out on the boat, or I go out on the open ocean, those are moments. Take a look. When the boat stops, we used to fish a lot. Look down. What's in the water? Am I seeing jellyfish? Am I seeing phytoplankton? What's happening around me? Because it's a big, beautiful, dynamic world. And I feel that being outside in that environment, being in nature, getting away from the chatter that we're all exposed to every day is so important for our physical, mental, and spiritual health. You just have to do it.
Oh, most definitely. I really love just this conversation, and just it brings home a lot of what I see from my clients, my coaching clients. But I see there's such a need in the world for this, because right now we're churning, and not in a good way, and we just kind of need to slow down and just take care of ourselves, take care of our families, and just enjoy us, but be safe, but be open to just helping others and just embracing the moment. And that's what I'm getting from you, and I do truly appreciate that. If our listeners would like to learn more about you and your work, I know we were just on the website, so we're going to probably share that again. But where are the best places to come and learn more about you and visit you?
Our website is definitely the best place to come for that, because we try and keep it all updated. You can certainly talk to Brittany at M2M, because she takes care of us that way and keeps me
Go,
from putting
Brittany.
my foot in my mouth, because I will. She
Uh-huh.
handled, I didn't get to even tell you this yet, Howard, but last year, this is when I went home and hid in the back of the closet and went, gracious, what did I do? I signed an international trade agreement with the Prime Minister of New Zealand to have a new battery electric vessel built.
Oh,
So
wow.
we're hoping that, so when people come and ride the boat in a few years, even the boat we have now, they're going to be batteries. So you will only have the sound of your voice, the wind, and the sea. It'll be fabulous.
All right. So, God willing, knock on wood, I would like to be invited to that event, so I'll come and I'll podcast from the boat.
I would love that. Yes, please. We'd have so much fun. And then I can show you Point Reyes and the oysters. And yeah, foodie.
Foodie. There you go.
Foodie.
There we go. And so we've got the Angel Island Ferry .com, and I've got your Facebook Instagram pages, and we'll have all those backlinks in our show notes, and we'll have backlinks to the Tiburon Peninsula Chamber as well. And Brittany's going to do a gung-ho job of finding us some photos, a dozen or so that we can put up on our show notes, and a nice a photo in uniform for our banner image of you.
Current one.
Yeah, yeah.
Or and if you've got folks that need a tour, I'm happy to do a tour through town. We have walking tours that happen here. History is rich. I always say Angel Island's that chocolate cake with lots and lots of layers and not a lot of frosting. And she's not explored anywhere near enough. It's an amazing, the whole thing is just amazing here.
I think it's a nice long weekend. You come in on a Thursday or Friday, you take the ferry over to Tiburon, you stay there, spend a day on the island, and you kind of head back afterwards. I love that.
And then you can launch out if you want to take a little longer time and do Mount Tam and Stinson and Olima. We're so lucky in Marin County because we have so much wilderness here, or it's probably tamed wilderness, but it's still wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
And the food is unbelievable. The chefs, the farm to table, it's epic.
I can imagine. Spoiled. I would be spoiled myself. I'm a little envious, but well, listen, it's been a pleasure, Captain Maggie, to have you on the podcast. And really, Brittany spoke very highly of you, and she said, you're going to love Captain Maggie. And so I have to say, Brittany was absolutely correct. It's been a pleasure to get to know you. And thank you so much for spending time with us today on the Outdoor Adventure Series.
Thank you, Howard, very much. Thank you for having me. You have a great day, okay?
You too. Listen, stay in the line. We're going to do a quick close, and then we can have a final chat, okay?
You should come over and be in going,
yeah, okay. Hey, Brittany, come on over before I close this down.
She's so dang cute. And she's on the Angel Island Conservancy, but she wears many hats, Howard.
Yeah?
Yeah.
See? Come on, Brittany. There we go. There's Brittany. Hey there. All right. Well, fantastic. And thank you for all your help setting this up. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. We're going to do a quick close, and then we'll have a final chat.
Okay.
All right, folks. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed today's episode. We had the pleasure of chatting with Captain Maggie McDonogh. She is the captain and owner of the Angel Island Tiburon Ferry service. It's a small business, maritime business, but taking you to Angel Island, in and around the San Francisco Bay, out into the ocean, underneath the Golden Gate Bridge. You get sunrises and sunsets and wonderful food all around you, farm to table, and just really a wonderful experience to listen to how this multi-generation business has evolved, and really the great experiences that are available today. And we hope you enjoyed hearing a lot of Captain Maggie's stories and her insights. And I really love the fact to just slow down, take care of yourselves, help each other, and make a difference out there. And it's so important. Do go out to the website for the Angel Island Tiburon Ferry service at angelislandferry.com, as well as their Facebook and Instagram pages. We're going to have those backlinks on our show notes. We'll also have a backlink to the Tiburon Peninsula Chamber. And because, again, you got to get to know Tiburon as well. Chambers, destinations, the small businesses, they're all working together and to provide services that many of us should be taking advantage of. As for us, you can find this episode on our website, outdooradventureseries.com. We are also on LinkedIn and Facebook on our Outdoor Adventure Series pages. The episode will also be up on our YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see the tour of the Chambers website, as well as the Angel Island Ferry website that Maggie helped us to navigate. So again, that'll be on YouTube. And of course, you can listen to this episode wherever you get your podcast from. Now, remember, we do like likes, comments, and sharing as well. Until next time, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, go out there, have a phenomenal day. And we look forward to having you join us on a future episode of the Outdoor Adventure Series podcast. Take care now.